Praise Shalom Israel. Most High in Christ bless. Why haven't you subscribed? IUIC New Orleans, subscribe. Go to our YouTube page. Help us to grow. Comment, like, share. What's going on? Make it happen.
All right, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. I'm Officer Michael with IUIC New Orleans. Today's class, stop hitting snooze on salvation. We're going to get into it. But first, give me Romans chapter 15, verse 4. One of my favorite scriptures. I got a lot of favorite scriptures, but this is one of my favorite right here. I got to read it.
This is the book of Romans chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
So the things that were written aforetime were written for us to learn from. They were written for us to learn from. Read it again. Shout out we got Soldier Obadiah. He's reading for us today.
This is the book of Romans chapter 15, verse 4.
Come on.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
That we may have hope. They were written for us to learn from. The Bible is a big book, and it was written for us to learn from. From there, Proverbs chapter 22, verse 13. Hitting snooze on your salvation. Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 13.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 22, verse 13.
Come on.
The slothful man saith, there is a lion without. I shall be slain in the streets.
So a slothful brother or sister will make an excuse. They will often say there are things that prohibit them from doing what they need to do. Read that again.
The slothful man saith, there is a lion without. I shall be slain in the streets.
So he said, there's a lion without. I will be slain in the street. What you're doing, you're making an excuse to not be productive. That's what you're doing. You're hitting snooze is what you're doing. You're finding something to justify you not getting those things that you need to get done. Read on.
The mouth of a strange woman is a deep pit.
Go to Proverbs 26 and 13. That's a good scripture because they don't make excuse when it comes to that. When it comes to chasing women, to being whoremongers, adulterers, it's crazy that when it's time to sin our people, they're not slothful in that. We are not slothful when it comes to sinning. But when it comes to doing the work, that becomes taboo. Like, oh, there's a lion in the street. I can't do it. Read that.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 13.
Come on.
The slothful man saith, there is a lion in the way.
Read.
A lion is in the streets.
There is a lion in the street. You try to find any justification to not be productive. We're not to be that way. The Lord made us to be laborious in this work. We were designed to do the work of the Lord. Can you give me Isaiah chapter 1, verse 5, which says, before I formed thee in the belly. Let me get that real quick.
This is
Jeremiah. I get them mixed up. Jeremiah. Not Isaiah.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5.
That's it.
Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nation.
He said, I made you a prophet unto the nation. Before I made you, I declared that that's what you're going to be. You're going to be a prophet to the nations. That's powerful. That is powerful. But for some reason, get 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 3. Once we come into that understanding and realize that's our purpose, we are to go hard body for this truth. We are to put in work because our lives depend upon it. Read that, 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3. I love this scripture.
This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 3.
Read.
Thou therefore endure hardness.
Do what?
Endure hardness.
The Bible tells us to endure hardness. Read.
As a good soldier of Jesus Christ.
Come on.
No man that warred entangling himself with the affairs of this life.
So we are not to entangle ourselves with the affairs of this life. Oftentimes, that's what draws a lot of us, the majority of the time, that's what draws us away from the work of the Lord. Because we want to be slothful. We want to be idle and not do the work. We get distracted. But the Bible says, read that from the top, 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3 again. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3. Come on.
Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ.
Read.
No man that warred entangled himself with the affairs of this life.
We are at war. Look at what's going on in the world today. Nation is rising against nation. What a time to be alive. Our salvation is at hand. But you want to take your hand off the plow. You hitting the snooze button and want to remain asleep. No, the Bible says that we are to endure hardness as good soldiers. Endure. Give me the definition of endure real quick. Let's see what endure means. We have to be laborious. We got to be, one of my favorite leads, you got to be hard body about this truth. We got to be. Endure.
This is the endure definition. Suffer something painful or difficult patiently.
It says suffer something painful or difficult patiently. We got to go through it. It's not going to be easy. We can't quit when stuff gets hard because it's going to get hard. Now, get the video. The general. All praise to the Most High. Bring up Bishop video.
Scriptures, you find out through the Bible that God hates laziness. He can't stand laziness. In fact, there's an animal called the sloth. It moves real slow, and it gets eaten by jaguars and lions and tigers. It just gets eaten up because it's just so daggone slow. It's a sloth. It's called a sloth. Now, when you read, the Bible talks about sloth. When you read in Romans 12:11, Proverbs 6:6. But the one that I like the best is Ecclesiasticus 22. Start at verse 1. A slothful man is compared to a filthy stone, and everyone will hiss him out to his disgrace. A slothful man is compared to the filth of a dunghill. You know what a dunghill is? Because we don't use that word today. But look at the word D-U-N-G. It means feces, fecal matter, doo-doo, S-H-I-T, sugar, honey, iced tea. I'm going to read it again. A slothful man is compared to the filth of a dunghill, a pile of doo-doo. Every man that takes it up will shake his hand. Now, what's strange about sloth, a slothful spirit, they're not too slothful when it comes to eating. They find time for that. They're not slothful when it comes to watching porn or playing with themselves late at night. They're not slothful when it comes to that. They're not slothful when it comes to playing video games. And we get a lot of complaints. A lot of you sisters, your man is a lazy dunghill. Well, you should have known that before you married him. Ask him what does he like to do. Once he says he likes to play video games, you should know red flag from there. When you examine his job, what does he do for a living? Does he stay at home with his mama and his papa? What does he do? Okay. What is his work schedule? Is he working part-time? Is he always spending time at the barber shop, hanging out, talking with friends? These are things y'all gotta examine. When you got a slothful spirit, it drags you down mentally, spiritually, and physically. Because those spirits, they don't care about their mental health. They don't care about their physical prowess. They don't care about their spiritual awareness, spiritual growth. Beware those spirits, else you married a piece of S-H-I-T. Meditate on that.
All praises to the Most High. Shout out to the Bishop. Shout out to Bishop Nathaniel. Excellent point. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 6. And then we're going to pull up the sloth, what the sloth is. We cannot be slothful. The Bible commands us to not be slothful. And we have examples. Read that.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 6.
Read.
Go to the ant, thou sluggard.
It says, go to the ant. I was cutting my yard, and I hit an ant pile, right? Boom, ran right over it. I looked at the ant pile when I hit it. Boom, they working. Boom, boom. They'll have another house within a matter of what? I would say probably minutes. At most 30, 45 minutes, they build another house. That's what I said. Go to the ant. Really look at ants. Ants are troopers. They don't make excuses. They get the work done. That's all the Bible says. Read that again. Go to what?
Go to the ant, thou sluggard.
Uh-huh.
Consider her ways.
Consider the ways of those ants. Read.
And be wise.
Read.
which having no guide.
Say they don't have any guide, but they understand what the work is, and they do it. They have no guide. Read.
Overseer or ruler.
Read.
Provided her meat in the summer.
They get their meat in the summer. Come on.
And gathered her food in the harvest.
And gather their food in the harvest. They don't wait around. They don't wait until they're hungry to go get food. They plan ahead. They make sure they have everything they need ahead of time because they're laborious. The whole colony would die out if they were slothful. If ants were slothful, their whole existence would be wiped out. The Lord would just wipe them out if they were slothful. But read on, watch this.
How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard?
But how long, you brothers and sisters that are sluggards, slothful, lazy? Read.
When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep?
When you gonna wake up? Wake up out your sleep. Read.
Yet a little sleep.
A little what?
Yet a little sleep.
Come on.
A little slumber.
Read.
A little folding of the hands to sleep.
Read.
So shall thy poverty come as
so
one.
that's what? You wanna, if you lazy and you slothful, poverty will find you. Because you're not doing anything to avoid it. You're being slothful. You're being lazy. Bishop brought it out beautifully in that clip. That will affect your mentality, your physical. It'll affect everything around you because you won't do anything to get out of that situation. It'll affect your studying because you won't study. If you're slothful, you're lazy, you're not disciplined. You have to be disciplined in this truth. You have to be. Read.
So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth.
Read.
And thy want as an armed man.
Read. Come on.
A naughty person, a wicked man, walking with a froward mouth.
Drop that. 1 Ezra 4:20. Now, before that, play the sloth. Play the sloth. Play the sloth. Let's see what the sloth is.
All about sloths, which is the featured animal of the month.
And what is so interesting to me about sloth is they are sort of a microclimate.
Look at how it moves. Look at how it moves.
Various species for algae and beetles and other animals that live in their fur.
And I think it's really amazing.
It said it eats the animals that live in its fur. Damn, it don't even hunt nothing. It just barely move, draw bugs, and eat what lives on it. That sounds like the Nazis that used to eat ticks and lice off their behind. Damn, read. Play them.
Because they're so slow, it takes them a long time to get down to the bottom of their tree, meaning they only come down to use the bathroom about once a week.
And I hear they do that very slowly.
To learn more about our featured
All right,
animal.
drop it. It said they come down to use the bathroom about once a week. Damn. 1 Ezra 4:20.
This is the book of 1 Ezra, chapter 4, verse 20.
You know the slothful brothers and sisters, they always find a way to get into some kind of sin. They always do. You know why? Because you're not doing the work. You're not doing the work, so you always find a way to get yourself into some trouble. If this is your life, because the Lord called us to do this, this is your life. You don't have time to get in trouble. It's so much work to be done. It's so much work to be done, but you want to play around with your salvation. Read that.
This is the book of 1 Ezra, chapter 4, verse 20.
Read.
A man leaveth his own father that brought him up,
Come on.
and his own country,
Read.
and cleaveth unto his wife.
Mm-hmm.
He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife, and remove it, and remember it, neither father, nor mother, nor country.
So this is Zerubbabel, and he was letting them know that women, they have a certain level of power. He was letting them know that when he was asked. It was 3 men, and he was asked. Now, read on.
By this also ye must know that women have dominion over you. Do ye not labor and toil, and give and bring all to the woman?
So he said, do you not labor and toil? They go out and fight lions. They take swords and go storm other lands and spoil those lands and take those goods to bring back to. They do all of this to bring to a woman. And guess what? They're not slothful when they're doing it. They're not slothful when they're doing it. They are fully aware and focused on on getting what they need to get done. In wickedness, though. They do it in wicked. A Pookie or a Ray Ray in wickedness. He'll be full speed ahead to try to get some behind. Brother, repent, come to the truth. I don't really know what work there is to do. But when you was out there chasing skirts, damn, chasing behind, you had all the motivation, all the discipline to do it. Like, you know what? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna do it. But now it's time to do the Lord's work. Back off. No, read on. Come on, read. I'm gonna come back.
Yea, a man taketh his sword and goeth his way to rob and to steal, to sail upon the sea.
He said he go to do what?
To rob and to steal.
To rob and to steal. We ain't advocating you go rob nobody or steal nothing. But I'm showing you that was a zeal and a motivation behind this man to do what he needed to do to make sure that his woman was taken care of. We got to be the same way for the Lord, for the Lord's business. Read on.
To rob and to steal, to sail upon the sea and upon rivers, and looketh upon a lion.
Come on. He said he looked upon a lion. Read.
And goeth in the darkness. And when he had stolen, spoiled, and robbed, he bringeth it to his love.
He brings it back to his love. Read.
Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father or mother.
Read.
Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women, and become servants for their sakes.
And have become servants for their sake. They so drawn into the infatuation, the love, that they would do they go through all of this, and they ain't even taking, sometimes they ain't even taking regard for their own life when they doing this. They can't be gonna go, I'm gonna fight this lion. I'm gonna spoil this country. I'm taking all this to bring it back to her, even if you lose your life. But something, all right, from there, I'm going to drop that. Proverbs 12 and 27. I don't want to run out of time.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 27. The slothful man roasted not that which he took in hunting, but the substance of a diligent man is precious.
So a slothful person will start something. Read that again. Watch
the slothful man roasted not which he took in hunting, but the substance of a diligent man is precious.
So he will let things wait. He won't finish things. A slothful man will not finish things. He'll start roasting it. Okay, whatever. Don't even finish it. But a diligent man gonna see that thing through. Read that again.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 27. The slothful man roasted not that which he took in hunting, but the substance of a diligent man is precious.
The substance of a diligent man is precious. They tend to not finish things. When a brother, a sister is slothful, they tend to not finish things. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 25.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 25. The desire of the slothful killeth him, for his hands refuse the labor.
So if you refuse to read that one more time.
The desire of the slothful killeth him, for his hands refuse the labor.
They want the benefits of success without putting any effort forward. You want those attributes. You want to get those things, those rewards. But if you slothful, you're not going to get them. Read it one more time.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 25. The desire of the slothful killeth him, for his hands refuse to labor.
His hands refuse to work. How the hell you going to be successful if you don't work? You won't put the work in. That's like you trying to get a CDL. I use somebody to understand. You want to be a commercial. You want to get a commercial driver's license, right? You don't study the material. You just show up to take the test. How do you think you're going to do? You're going to fail. You're going to fail because you refuse to put in the work to be successful. Now, Proverbs 10 and 26. I know we're reading a lot in Proverbs.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 26. As vinegar to the teeth.
Who's ever had, you ever had like acid reflux or like that vinegary taste in your mouth? It says as vinegar is to teeth, right? Read.
And as smoke to the eyes.
I literally grilled some lamb yesterday. And I had to get the charcoals going, right? When you open the pit and that rush of smoke comes out, it burns I didn't have my glasses on. It burns your eyes. As vinegar is the teeth, and as smoke is to your eyes. Think about how you get smoke in your eyes, read.
So is the sluggard to them that sin him.
So is the slothful. Damn. The Lord, can't nobody write it like the Lord. Read that again, one more time.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 26. As vinegar to the teeth, and as smoke to the eyes.
Get smoke in your eyes, read.
So is the sluggard to them that sin him.
That people that rely on them, it will frustrate. If you got a slothful brother or sister and you got to rely on them, it will frustrate you. It's frustrating, just like getting smoke in your eyes and freaking vinegar and vinegary taste in your teeth. Y'all know strong vinegar in your mouth. I'm not saying y'all go do this, but if you've had that in your mouth, you know what I'm talking about. Now, Proverbs 10 and 4.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 4. He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand.
He what?
He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand.
If you are lazy, you can bet your bottom dollar that hardships they go hand in hand. You unwilling, you're not motivated. We will get the motivation later on. You're not enthusiastic and you're not motivated to do anything. You just want to be lazy. Read again.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 4. He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand.
Read.
But the hand of the diligent make it rich.
Laziness often leads to lack and hardship. Proverbs 24 and 30.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 30. I went by the field of the slothful.
He said, I went by the field of the slothful. I went by the field of the slothful. Read.
And by the vineyard of the man void of understanding.
Okay. Read it from the top. We're going to read it slow.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 30. I went by the field of the slothful.
The field of the sloth. How do you think that field looked? You think he was out there dressing it, making sure everything was good to go? No, he's slothful. Probably had thorns in it. Well, I don't want to spoil it. Keep reading.
And by the vineyard of the man void of understanding. And lo, it was all grown over with thorns.
It was all grown over with thorns. Why? He's slothful. He ain't gonna upkeep it. He's gonna let it literally let Jesus take the wheel. He ain't gonna do nothing with it. He's like, okay, whatever. I just planted it, let thorns and stuff overtake it. Come on, read.
And nettles had covered the face thereof, and the stone wall thereof was broken down.
And read that again.
And lo, it was all grown over with thorns.
It was grown over with thorns. Come on.
And nettles had covered the face thereof.
The nettles had covered it. Watch this.
And the stone wall thereof was broken down.
And the wall was even down. It was completely not dressed, not kept. And that also bleeds over into your study habits. If you're not diligent, you lazy about studying, you're not intentional with it, that read it again. I want to butcher it.
Let me start from 30.
Yeah, read 30 again.
I went by the field of the slothful, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding.
It said void of understanding. Void of understanding. Those two go hand in hand. Slothfulness is tied to lack of understanding. If you slothful, you best believe your understanding gonna take a hit. Because you're not feeding your spirit. You're hitting a snooze on your salvation. You're not taking the time to feed your spirit. You feed your carnal body, but you're not feeding your spirit. Drop that. Proverbs 18 and 9.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 9. He also that is slothful in his work is brother to him that is a great waster.
Slothfulness is placed in the same category as destruction. But that's what's going to find you. You're not being diligent. You forget that the Lord called you here to do his work. And get complacent. This is what happens. Brothers and sisters get complacent. Give me the definition of complacent. We cannot have this spirit. We can't roll in this spirit.
Complacent definition, showing smug or uncritical satisfaction with oneself or one's achievements.
Get some more on that. Read some of those.
Smug, self-satisfied, self-approving,
Mm-hmm.
self-congratulatory, self-regarding, gloating, triumphant, proud,
What?
proud,
Proud. Come on. That was
slack,
what was that?
slack,
Uh-huh.
careless,
Lazy.
lazy.
Lazy. When you become complacent, you become lazy. Lazy. That's why when we read about, go back to Proverbs chapter 30. And we're going to read down to verse 24. We're going to read 30 to 34. Chapter 24. I think we left off at 30. I want to read down to 34.
And lo, it was all grown over with thorns and nettles,
We have verse 31. Come on.
had covered the face thereof,
Mm-hmm.
and the stone wall thereof was broken down.
Watch this.
Then I saw and considered it well. I looked upon it and received instruction.
Uh-huh.
Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth.
So shall thy poverty come, a little sleep, folded of the hands. Now you're not being diligent. You're being lazy. Read.
And thy want as an armed man.
As an armed man. Now let's go to Proverbs chapter 18. How do we read? No, we read that already. Proverbs 21 and verse 25.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 25. The desire of the slothful killeth him.
The what?
The desire of the slothful killeth him, for his hands refuse the labor.
His hands refuse to labor. Now, get the apartment. Look at this right here. He said his hands refuse to labor. Get the next one. Now go get where I leave off at? Hebrews 6, verse 11. Book of Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 11. Or 11 and 12.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 11. And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence
Uh-huh.
to the full assurance of hope unto the end.
So we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence. Look up diligence. Look up the definition of diligence.
Diligence definition: careful and persistent work or effort.
It says careful and persistent work or effort. That's intentional. It's not by coincidence. You are intentional about it. It's not, well, I get to it when I get to it. No, we can't have that mentality. We can't be lazy. We can't be slothful about it. We have to be intentional. Because the other nations, they are damn well intentional about destroying us. Psalms 83. Deviate just a little bit. Psalm chapter 83.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 83, and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Keep not thou silence, O God.
Read.
Let me jump to 2.
Yeah, verse 2. Come on.
It's verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Uh-huh.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
Read.
and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come.
They have said, watch this.
They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
They didn't hesitate when they did this. They were full throttle about it. And they are still consistent to this day. They ain't taking their hands off of destroying God's people. Destroying the Israelites, you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. They all for it. They said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. You think they ain't going on to this day still? Read.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Come on.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against us. Read.
The tabernacles of Edom
Esau, the white man.
and the Ishmaelites
the Arabs,
of Moab,
the Chinese,
and the Hagarenes,
Africans.
Jabal, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Those are West Africans, and Tyre, they're Africans. All right, so now go back to Hebrews 6:11. We got to be diligent. What did I leave off at? I think it's Hebrews 6:11.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 11. And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end.
Read.
That ye be not slothful.
That you be not what?
That ye be not slothful.
We have to show diligence that we be not slothful. We can't be slothful in this truth. We got to show diligence, damn it, that we are not slothful. We got to be laborious. Give me that Micah. Be in pain. Micah 4.
Micah chapter 4.
Micah 4:10.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 4 and verse 10.
Uh-huh.
Be in pain and labor to bring forth.
The Bible says to be in pain and labor to bring forth. Come on.
O daughter of Zion.
Read.
Like a woman in travail.
Like a woman in labor. Come on.
For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field.
So we got to be laborious. Is it going to be easy? No, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. We got to be laborious. It's going to be painful. It's going to be nights where we may have to lose some sleep. Early mornings, guess what? We got to be laborious and not slothful. Can't keep hitting snooze. Can't keep taking the easy route. We can't do that. Go back to Hebrews 6. Verse 11.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 11. And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end.
Read.
That ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises.
So that's how we're going to inherit the promises. We have to be diligent, not slothful. We got to be fired up, motivated to do the work of the Lord. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 24.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 24. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute.
Read that again. It said the slothful going to be under tribute. What does it mean to be under tribute, tech team? Get that, tribute. When you're under tribute. Slothfulness leads to, slothfulness is going to lead you to being under tribute. Why? Because you're not motivated to do nothing. You're not enthusiastic about it. You're not being diligent. Tribute. What does tribute mean? Yeah, read that. Read the definition of tribute.
Tribute definition. Payment made periodically.
Payment made periodically. That means you're not in rulership. You're in bondage. Read.
By one state or ruler to another.
By one state or ruler to another. Come on.
Especially as a sign of dependence.
Damn. Dependency. A sign of dependency, which means you're not leading, you're being led. Which means that means bondage. Read Proverbs 12:24. God, I love that one. Read that again. Damn.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 24. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule.
The hand of the diligent shall bear rule. We read what diligent was earlier. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule. Like in Wisdom of Solomon said, we're going to be the ones that delight in those scepters. But it ain't going to come by us by observation. It's going to come by work. Work, damn it. Read.
But the slothful shall be under tribute.
Under tribute. Under bondage. Gets Sirach 22:1. Bishop read this in the clip. I meant to get it earlier.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 22, verse 1. A slothful man is compared to a filthy stone, and everyone will hiss him.
Dirty stone. Everybody will hiss at him. Read.
Out of his disgrace. A slothful man is compared to the filth of a dunghill.
Filth of crap. Filth of doo-doo.
Every man that takes it up will shake his hand.
You get it on your hand, you want to shake your hand like, Nobody want to be around nobody like that. Like, man, this brother's always making an excuse. He always talking about lying in the street. He can't do this. He can't do that. He always playing video games. He never want to do nothing, no work. That's why I said everybody shake his hand. I don't want to be around that. Ecclesiasticus 33 and 27. Jump over. Am I doing on time? Oh, yeah, good to go.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 27. Send him to labor, that he be not idle.
The Bible says to labor, that we be not idle. Get the definition of idle, I-D-L-E, idle. That we be not idle. I-D-L-E. What does it mean to be idle? Send him to labor, that he be not idle.
Idle definition of a person avoiding work.
Doing what?
Avoiding work.
Come on.
Lazy.
Lazy. Scroll to similar. Right. Come on. Number 3, right there. What does it say? Similar. Right there. Read them. Read them first 3.
Spend time doing nothing.
No. The similar right there.
Lazy. Indolent.
Slothful. That's why the Bible tells us. Read that again. Sirach chapter 33, verse 27. Read it one more time.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 27. Send him to labor, that he be not idle.
It says, send him to labor, that he be not idle. That's how you combat being idle, being lazy, being slothful. You go do the work. You don't sit around on your behind all day. You go do the freaking work. Read.
For idleness teacheth much evil.
That's why how brothers and sisters start to fall. When you're idle, you're being lazy, you're avoiding the work. But guess what you can find? There used to be a movie, it was called Idle Hands. And the dude was idle. It was comical. I can put a screen of it up. It's called Idle Hands. The dude hand was idle, and it was doing if you get a chance, check it out. It's yeah, that's it right there. This dude hand was getting him into all kind of crazy. It's comedy, but his hand, it was idle, was getting him into all kind of stuff. It got possessed, and his hand was just you'll see his personality. He wasn't a really laborious person, so to speak. He was lazy. He was lazy, and so he had nothing but time to get into trouble because he wasn't laborious. That's what those two tend to run hand in hand. You got a lot of time on your hands, you got a lot of time to get into foolishness. Get Sirach 7:15.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 7, verse 15.
Read.
Hate not laborious work.
Read that again.
Hate not laborious work.
The Lord said to hate not laborious work. Don't hate it. Embrace it. Don't hate laborious work. Come on.
Neither husbandry.
Read.
Which the Most High hath ordained.
The Most High created it. Don't hate it. If the Lord said don't hate the laborious work, we have to embrace the laborious work. Oh, that was the wrong one. Sirach 40 and verse 29.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 40 and verse 29. The life of him that depended on another man's table.
The what?
The life of him that depended on another man's table is not to be counted for a life.
It says the life of a man. Now I get it, brothers, sisters, they fall on hard times. But I'm talking about that brother that just refuses to do any work. He refused to do it. It says the life, read that from the top. The life of him, read.
The life of him that depended on another man's table is not to be counted for a life. For he polluted himself with other men's meat. But a wise man, well nurtured, will beware thereof.
Will beware thereof. I got tongue tied a little bit. Must be my energy drink. That's the implications of refusing to work. You won't work. Now the necessities that you need, you can't get them because you are choosing to be a bum. Read on.
Begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless.
So because he's shameless, he's begging. You ever seen them bums out on the street? It's sweet in their mouth. They don't care. It gets to the point where they don't care. They're just beg. Hey man, you got $5, you got $10. They don't care. Read.
But in his belly there shall burn a fire.
He's gonna be hungry. Wisdom of Solomon 16:26.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 26. Verse 25. Therefore, even then it was altered into all fashions, and was obedient to thy grace, that nourisheth all things. according to the desire of them that had need.
Okay, now read verse 26.
That thy children, O Lord, whom thou lovest, might know that it is not the growing of fruits that nourisheth man, but that it is thy word, which preserveth them that put their trust in
So
thee.
the obedience fuels success. Being obedient to the word of God will fuel our success. Not Tulsa ones. Get the Tulsa ones first.
During the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre, white mobs burned down over 35 blocks of the thriving Black Wall Street, Green District, in Oklahoma, including several churches. Despite the immense destruction and lack of assistance, the local black community famously rebuked the area.
Read that part again. Read that part one more time.
Despite the immense destruction and lack of assistance.
It said, despite the immense destruction and lack of assistance. Read that.
The local black community.
The local black community did what?
Famously rebuilt the area.
They did. Hold on. Read that part again. They did what?
The local black community famously rebuilt the area.
It said they famously rebuilt the area. They didn't even have the law. They didn't have the laws. This was 1921. It said they taught white. Read that from the top. Read it one more time. Let that sink in.
From the top.
Read it from the top.
During the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre, white mobs burned down over 35 blocks.
35 blocks. They burnt down over 35 blocks. Read.
Of the thriving Black Wall Street, Greenwood District in Oklahoma, including several churches.
Several churches. Read.
Despite the immense destruction and lack of assistance.
So it wasn't light destruction. It was immense destruction. It said, despite the immense destruction, read.
The local black community famously rebuked the area.
They rebuilt the area. Come on.
Including the historic Vernon AME Church and the Mount Zion Baptist Church, which stand as symbols of resilience.
Scroll up. It said, despite the destruction, they rebuilt it. Read.
Vernon AME Church. During the June 1921 massacre, a white mob burned the main sanctuary of the Vernon AME, but the congregation continued to use the basement.
They did what?
Continued to use the basement.
They used the basement. They were not being deterred. They said, you know what? And this wouldn't have happened if they were slothful and lazy. If they said, you know what, the hell with it, they tore it down. You know, we ain't gonna do it. It said, despite, and they had that resistance, and they still rebuilt it. Read.
The church was rebuilt by its congregation and remains the only black-owned building in the Greenwood District to have survived the 1921 massacre.
Now, this one's going to knock your socks off. Read the next part right there. Read that. Watch this.
Mount Zion Baptist Church, having been completed just 2 months before the massacre, this church was burned to the ground by a white mob. It was later rebuilt by the community, stronger than before.
It was rebuilt stronger. The devil came in, burnt it down. They not only did they rebuild it, they rebuilt it stronger. Stronger than before. Come on.
Community rebuilding.
Listen to this right here. This is what I was talking about, knock them socks off. Watch this.
Despite having their insurance claims denied.
Damn. It said despite having no help. Denied, insurance denied. Let's see if that stopped our people. Watch this.
As officials labeled the massacre a riot and facing restrictive city zoning.
Hold on. Oh, what were they in the church tearing the boards off? It said they labeled it a riot. After the mob came in, the devil came in and destroyed it. And they labeled it a riot. This is how Esau the devil, man. Read, watch it. But our people, man, we've always had a spirit to work. Read.
And facing restrictive city zoning laws.
They had zoning laws, insurance claims denied. But watch this, read.
Designed to prevent reconstruction. Black Tulsans rebuilt the Greenwood District within a few years. By 1940, the area was thriving again.
Do the math. 1921. Take 1940, subtract 1940 from 1921. I ain't a math whiz. How many years is that?
19.
19 years. They rebuilt it. They said 35. No, y'all forgot. 35 blocks, they rebuilt it. 19 years, they rebuilt it. Despite having insurance claims denied, facing restrictive city zoning laws, and they labeled it a riot. You can't make this stuff up. Read on, come on.
By 1940, the area was thriving again, with more businesses than before the massacre.
Mm-hmm.
Following the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre, which destroyed 35 square blocks and hundreds of black-owned businesses, Tulsans, led by survivors and black entrepreneurs, remarkably rebuilt the Greenwood District within a decade.
Watch this. Here we go. Here come the hammer right here. Watch this. Read that.
Despite discriminatory
zoning
laws designed to stop them,
watch this.
Residents rebuilt to 242 businesses by 1942.
Damn. That's what, 21 years right there?
Yes, sir.
242 businesses. Read.
Resilience and leadership. Attorney B.C. Franklin played a crucial role by successfully challenging city ordinances that tried to prevent
rebuilding. Stood up. At this time, you could be lynched, hung from a tree, damn it. He stood up. He said, you know what? He stood up against it. He didn't kowtow down. He stood up in the face of oppression. Read.
Economic rebound. The community rebuilt with impressive speed.
Damn. Mm-hmm.
With many businesses restored within 18 months.
18 months. 18 months.
External support. While some white Tulsans opposed the rebuilding, the Red Cross provided essential.
They ain't do nothing for us. Jump down. Red Cross ain't done a damn thing. They just said that he saw the devil. All right, now get Ecclesiastes 9 and 10. Ecclesiastes 9 and 10. Time running. That's the spirit we gotta have. They ain't even had the commandments, but they had the spirit to work. They had the spirit to work. You know why? For Zephaniah 2:1. Zephaniah 2:1. Times is tough. Times is gonna get worse. But our people, we understood who the enemy was. They knew Esau's the devil. They understood the white man was there. They had constant reminders. Can you imagine back in those times? It wasn't uncommon for our people to find somebody lynched. A brother or sister that been put to death, that been hit across the head by the police, the patty rollers. That wasn't uncommon for our people. They understood this. Read that, Zephaniah 2:1.
This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1.
Read.
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
It said, O nation not desired. We understood we weren't desired and we had to work together. Our survival depended on it, damn it. We didn't have a choice. Now, get, what I'll tell you, get Ecclesiastes 9, verse 10.
Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 10.
That's it.
Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might.
It said, do it with thy might. Read.
For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave.
There is none in the grave. So what you find, maybe you're just the brother that had to fold the flyers. Or you got to clean the school. Do it with all your might. Now, get the limitless one. Now listen to what listen to what he says initially about in his head. Listen to what he says right out the gate. Play.
Could it? But who would live like this?
He said, in his head, he said, who? It's visual. He looked at how he was living. He said, who lives like this? That's where it's got to start. You got to look at your life and think, okay, something don't look right. And now the action comes. Read that. Play. Come on, play it.
But it couldn't be my home, could it?
He said, this can't be. This can't be where I live at.
But who would live like this? My first thought, torture. But saner heads prevailed.
The saner heads prevail. He had to declutter the garbage. He had to get out of the filth. He got to organize. He said, look, I can't be where I live at. I can't live like this. So what he got to do? Look at what he's doing. He's getting it done. He's clean. He's organizing his life. If you come home every day and your house is cluttered, go. I don't know if we can get the picture. No, you see how he got everything? Now look, no, let it run. Let it run, buddy. Look at that.
What was this drug? I couldn't stay messy on it. I hadn't had a cigarette in 6 hours. Hadn't eaten. So, abstemious and tidy? What was this? A drug for people who wanted to be more...
All right, we can drop it. Now, get Romans 13. Verse 11.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11. And that, knowing the time, and now it is high time to wake out of sleep.
It's time for you to wake up. If you are slothful or you're lazy and you like to be idle, it's time to wake up. It's time to come back to who you are according to God and get your hand on that plow and don't let go. Put your hand to the plow and don't let go. Be laborious in this work. Go hard. Now, get the next one. Start at about what I had 2. Okay, play this. Listen
Energy to be productive.
If you struggle with being idle, or you struggle with being slothful, there's some good points in this. Play this. Listen to this.
You might say things like, I'm too tired to work. The problem isn't that you're lazy, it's that you're not taking good enough care of yourself.
Oh, what was that? It says you're not taking good enough care of yourself. Play on.
Second is regret. You get lazy when you feel like an opportunity has passed you by. You might avoid work by saying, it's too late to get started, but you're just looking for excuses to stay where you are. Chances are, you don't believe in your ability to keep up with everyone else. The third category is internal shame. This can make you incredibly unproductive and ruin your mindset. Most of the time, shame comes from a lack of self-compassion. You get so frustrated with yourself for being lazy that you end up becoming the thing you were trying to avoid.
Damn.
The next
No, go ahead, play.
is social fear. You hold yourself back because you're worried about looking stupid. If you try something and fail, you might be scared it's going to ruin your image. The fifth category is neuroticism or anxiety. When you face new challenges, you're overwhelmed by your fears. You tell yourself you can't do something
That right there. Our people tend to do that. You get overcome because you plan in your own head and you think that you can't achieve greatness. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 6.
It's the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5 and verse 6. Therefore, let us not sleep, as do others, but let us watch and be sober.
Let us do what?
Let us watch and be sober.
That requires action. Stay alert. Be spiritually disciplined. If you're spiritually disciplined, you won't allow that to creep in your head. Like, no. I'm going to stick with this. Get Habakkuk 2 real quick. Habakkuk chapter 2.
This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me.
This requires action. Habakkuk was standing watch. It didn't say he was being vigilant here. If he wasn't laying down being idle, he said, I will do what? I will stand upon my watch. Read.
To see what he shall say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved.
And I will see what answer when I'm reproved. Go back to the video for time's sake. Time's running down.
Image. The fifth category is neuroticism or anxiety. When you face new challenges, you're overwhelmed by your fears. You tell yourself you can't do something because you're too scared to try. Number 6 is laziness.
Yeah, give me that. Hold on. Give me that, Timothy. Fear. 1:7, I think. Let me get it. Yeah, 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. Yeah, that's it.
2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7.
Come on.
For God had not given us the spirit of fear.
The Lord didn't give us the spirit of fear. Read.
But of power and of love.
Read.
And of a sound mind.
Of a sound mind. didn't give us a spirit of fear. He gave us the power of a sound mind. So we shouldn't have that spirit of uncertainty, that fear, like, oh, I can't get it. What am I going to do? No, the Lord didn't give us that. Read that again.
For God had not given us the spirit of fear.
Come on.
But of power.
Read.
And of love.
Come on.
And of a sound mind.
And of a sound mind. Now let's go back.
Uncertainty. You might hesitate when something is complicated or confusing, but this confusion is a natural part of any challenge, so learn to embrace it. The seventh is apathy. You get lazy because, well, you don't care. This is often a sign of aimlessness or depression. If you feel apathetic toward everything, you're not
Hey,
lazy.
real quick.
You just need to discover something that
We have to have a level of care. If your mindset is, well, I'm just going to do it just to get it done, and you just half behind do it, don't do that. You're supposed to go hard. Whatever you find your hand to do it with all your might. Don't half behind do it. If that's your spirit, check that spirit. Don't roll like that. Do not half behind do anything for the Lord. Don't do that. Go hard. Play on.
important to you. Finally, there's self-definition, which is the issue we talked about in step 1. If you identify as lazy, well, then you become lazy. But you can solidify your ambitions by gradually changing the way you define yourself.
Now listen to this. Listen to this. I want to get to the part where it says, if you have lazy tendencies, we may have lazy tendencies. You have to make it work for yourself. I don't know if I got enough time. But play on. We should be able to get to it. Play on.
They are. This is a crucial, albeit uncomfortable question to ask yourself. For people who struggle with laziness, the future may seem a bit unnerving. If you stay the way you are for the next 5 to 10 years, well, you might never achieve your lifelong goals.
You see that?
Might never...
They showed the bum. If you stay the same way, because poverty going to eventually catch up with you, because you so used to not being diligent. You used to being lazy. And if you lazy, poverty is right there. It's coming. Play on.
The person that you dreamt of becoming. These hypotheticals will train you to look into the future, to consider how your current priorities will evolve over time. Realizing that you're not on the right path can motivate you to correct bad habits and make lasting changes to lifestyle. Number 4, identifying the value of your work. Even after they improve their mindset, some people still struggle to see the value in their work. You may become unproductive because nothing seems like a worthwhile use of your time. But there's an easy way to work around this kind of laziness. Anytime you set a goal or make a new habit, don't just write down what you're doing. Write down why it's an important addition to your life.
Why it's important. I'm trying to get. Can you fast forward a little bit? I'm looking for something. I'm looking for it. Let me see. Where is it at? Where it talks about the 1-3 rule. That's it right there. Yeah, the lazy work exchange. There we go. Number 5. I want to get to this. Play that.
Many people think being productive means working uninterrupted for hours on end. They think you're supposed to get everything done in one sitting, but that's completely unrealistic.
That may not. Hardly, you may be the one that can sit at one sitting and get everything done. That may work for you. That don't work for me. I'll start on something. That's okay. I'll get a good portion of it done, and I'll have to go off and I'll reward myself. Say, okay, well, I've been working on this for like 6 hours. Let me step away from it. Grab me a nice snack or something. Shout out to you reds and yellows. You eat a healthy snack, celery or something. But I'll go get me a nice snack, and then I'll come back. Because if I stir it for too long, I tend to make mistakes. But play on.
Works like that, even the most productive people have slow periods or downtime throughout the day. So don't hold yourself to this impossible standard. Don't expect yourself to sit down and concentrate for 8 to 12 hours straight. It's rarely, if ever, going to happen, but that isn't something to be ashamed of. There's nothing wrong with taking breaks. In fact, breaks are an incredibly useful way to stay productive when you're feeling lazy.
So it's an incredible way to stay productive. That means you'll take a break from it, and then you come back, you go back to it. Play on.
Use them correctly, you can essentially use laziness to your advantage. You'll create a routine that lets you be lazy and feel good about it. The key is to exchange downtime for work time. In other words, to get one, you have to do the other. Let's say you really want to watch an episode of your favorite show. That's not an issue, but you need to earn that half hour of laziness by doing an equal amount of work. I recommend keeping at least a 1 to 3 lazy work ratio. Listen to this. Ratio. So for every 1 minute of downtime, you do 3 minutes of work. That means you need to work for 90 minutes to earn a half hour for your show.
Work for 90 minutes and then earn 30 minutes of downtime. That'll work. It'll help. It'll help you. It'll help you because now you have something like it's a SMART goal. You can measure it. You said, okay, I've been looking at this for 90 minutes. Now let me take 30 minutes to just kind of, let my brain, reset itself a little bit, and then I'll get back to it. But don't do 90 minutes of nothing and then 30 minutes of work. Don't do that. Do some work. Play on.
This step is that your laziness becomes your motivation. When you can't shake the urge to slack off, then let that fuel you. You'll be more productive because you know a fun reward is waiting for you at the end. You may even find yourself working harder when you know there's a break coming up soon.
All right, drop that. Get the definition of positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement. And then you get Ecclesiastes 10:18. Positive reinforcement. Read that first.
Positive reinforcement is a behavioral technique that strengthens desired actions by immediately adding a motivating stimulus, such as praise, rewards, or tokens following the behavior.
So you reward yourself for doing 90 minutes of work with your 30 minutes of whatever you decide to reward yourself with. If you want to take a walk, or that's for you reds and yellows, take a walk, get you some steps in. For us fit brothers and sisters, you might want to have a dainty thing, Shout out to you fat brothers. All right, read on.
It increases the likelihood of behavior repetition in homes, schools, and workplaces. Effective application requires immediacy, consistency.
What? Read that C word again.
Consistency.
That's kryptonite to idleness and laziness, to being slothful. Consistency. Consistency is the key. Get the next one, the next short. Here we go.
And that's why the Bible goes after laziness as a sin, because laziness is essentially saying, God, you have given me nothing of significance and importance.
Damn, did you hear that? Run it back. I know this is Esau, but listen, chew the meat and spit out the bones. Listen to what he just said. Read that, play it again.
That's why the Bible goes after laziness as a sin, because laziness is essentially saying, God, you have given me nothing of significance and importance. Therefore, I can fritter my life away being lazy, not developing my physical talents or my intellectual talents or my spiritual talents, because guess what? It really doesn't matter. And God says, no, you matter. I've given you talents. Now they're dormant, a lot of them, so you got to develop them, which means you got to get up off your backside cliff and you got to start working. You got to develop your body, you got to develop your mind, and you got to develop a relationship with me.
He said, you got to get off your you know what and do the work. He said, you got to get up and do the work. Give me that about the talents in Matthew. You can find it.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 15. And unto one he had gave 5 talents, to another 2,
Read.
And to another 1.
Come on.
To every man according to his several ability. And straightway took his journey.
Read. Come on.
Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents.
So he took his 5 and traded, made them other 5. Come on.
And likewise, he that had received 2, he also gained another 2.
So he gained 2 more with his talents. They weren't sitting around doing nothing. He said, you know what? They got their talents. Let me do something with, like that video we just watched. When the Lord put us here, he put us here for a purpose. We weren't made for nothing. We were made to do the work of the Lord. That's what we were designed to do. The kingdom of heaven ain't going to come by us sitting around spectating. Just like these brothers with these talents. Read.
But he that had received one went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money.
Damn, he went and hid his. We can't roll like that. We cannot roll that way. Spamela? Spam always calling me. Read.
After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents,
So
saying,
he did some with his talents. Come on, he said this. Read.
saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things.
He said, thou hast been faithful over a few things. Read.
I will make thee ruler over many things.
Make you ruler over many things. Because you were faithful with the little I gave you, I'm gonna increase you and give you more. Make you Lord over more. Read.
Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them.
Read.
His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord.
Come on.
Then he which had received the 1 talent
So here come the 1 talent recipient. Come on.
Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man.
I knew you was a hard man. Read.
Reaping where thou hast not sown.
Come on.
And gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid and went and hid thy talent in the earth.
Damn.
Lo, there thou hast that in thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knowest that I reap where I sowed not.
So you wicked and slothful. Notice the 5, the 2. 5 came back with 10. He came back with 4. He came back with the same. He had his. He dug a hole and put his in the earth. He put his in the earth. He said, wicked and slothful. Do you want to be the one with the 5 talents, or you want to be the one with the 1? You got to really meditate on that. Play the video, then we up out of here.
He's focusing on the outside world and how there's a lot of things in the outside world you'll never be able to control. You can influence, but you can't control it. This, your mind, your emotions, your body, you have 100% control over what you do with these things.
So you got 100% control over what you do with these things that the Lord gave us. What are you putting into your mind? What are you putting into your body? What are you putting into your spirit? You can control those things, but you got to be disciplined. You can't be slothful with this. You got to be disciplined. You got to be motivated, consistent, and disciplined. Play on.
Is one. You win the inner game, then you win the outer game.
You win the inner, he said, hold on. He said you win the inner game, and then you win what's out there. You gotta that when you look in the mirror when you get up in the morning, you gotta defeat that first. You have to defeat that. Play on.
They won and they're miserable. So to me, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. And so many people are focused on success still, which to me is like, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's like success is getting what you want. Fulfillment is living what you're made for.
Damn, he said, run that back chest a little bit. That's all I wanted with that.
Success still, which to me is like, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's like success is getting what you want. Fulfillment is living what you're made for.
He said fulfillment is living what you were made for. 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. He said fulfillment is living what you were made for.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5.
Read.
Examine yourself.
And the only way you're going to know what you were made for is when you start examining yourself. Read.
Whether ye be in the faith.
Come on.
Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves?
You got to know the things that you struggle with. If you struggle with being slothful, you struggle with being lazy, you can combat it with the scriptures. Play on. Read on.
How that Jesus Christ is in you, except ye be reprobates.
Except ye be reprobate. We all know what we struggle with. We all know what we battle with. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 9. We're going to leave off with that. We'll leave off with that. So prove your own self.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse 9. Whoso removeth stone shall be...
9 and 10, 9 and 10.
9 and 10. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 10. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might.
Come on.
For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave.
So you got to examine yourself. Those things that you battle with, purge those out. Now you understand what you deal with. You've examined yourself. You understand what you are fighting every day. Do the work. Don't let those things cause you to hit the freaking snooze button on your salvation. Don't let those be hindrances. Don't let those be those roadblocks in your way, that your lion in the street, so to speak. Examine who you are. Purge those things out. Pray, fast, study, and ask the Lord to remove those things from us. Some stuff going to be your thorn in the flesh. I got it. It's going to be our thorn in the flesh. We're going to have to deal with it. But there's no excuse to hit snooze on our salvation. So I'm Officer Michael with IUIC New Orleans. All praise to the Most High. Soldier Obadiah held down the reading for us. And also, hold on, trying to get it. Damn the devil. Donate. Donate, all right? Our elders, they traveling all over the world. They pushing this gospel. But, hey, we need donations. What's the best nation? Donation. So donate to the Booster Club. Help continue this truth to go out through the four corners of the earth. So all praise to the Most High. That's my time. Shalom. Most High in Christ bless.
Across the earth, the prophets move. From city streets to distant lands, the message is the same. Israel must rise. Through every quest, every journey, the truth spreads. No border can contain it. No distance can silence it. Our nation lives in every moment. In joy, we celebrate marriages. In sorrow, we honor our dead. On the Sabbath, we gather as one. Families rejoicing together, bound by the commandments of God. Yet are we tried. From the stones in Kenya to the hatred in Montana, we endure as a soldier of the Lord. And still, the mission expands. On the airwaves, on the screens, in every nation under heaven, Israel's voice is heard. We build our communities. We raise our children in royalty. We restore what was broken. We clean what was defiled. We show the world who we are. This is Israel united in Christ. Nation in motion. Nation endures.